everyone to Coach Talk. I am so happy for my guest tonight. We go back a ways. We go back a ways, and it's funny because we've never met in person, but we're like girlfriends virtually.
Yes. Yes.
We are virtual girlfriends. So before I introduce you to my one of my favorite friends, just let me introduce you to myself. For those of you who are new here and may not have seen or heard of me before, my name is Melanie Matthews Calhoun, and I am the owner and CEO of the Get Engaged Coaching Group. And look, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And I've been in education. I've been in this teacher slash administrative role for, I can't believe it, it's 28 years. It's been 28 years that I've been an educator because no matter what role I am occupying, I am still an educator. So I've been in education for 28 years, and 19 of those 28 years, I have been in the instructional coaching slash consulting role in some way, shape, or form. And I just love it here. And I'm just so happy to be in a position where I can talk to other leaders in the field because I am a lifelong learner. And when I have guests on Coach Talk or when I'm on socials, I love, love, love learning from people who are in within the same realm as I am because iron sharpens iron, right? So, just want to let you know about Coach Academy. That is an online learning portal that I have. And in Coach Academy, in addition to the freebies, you can find coaching tools and pre-recorded workshops and all of those things. So if you're looking for some other things to get into, go on over and sign up for not Coach Talk, Coach Academy. All of my titles have coach in it. Sorry. Uh, um, I am also the creator of the Get Engaged Coaching Con, which is the phase two of the evolution of my coaching work. I was the host and creator of the Mind Your Coaching Institute, and that is really not going anywhere. It's just sitting to the side because I'm going to energize that. But it's the Get Engaged Coaching Con, and that is this year, July 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2025, for 2 days from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. So there's a lot of information about that. Go to www.getengagedcoaching.com to find out more. And I am the author of 3 books, The Formula, 101 Must-Have Forms for Instructional Coaches, Inside Instructional Coaching, and The Productive Coach Habit Tracker. Now that I got all that out the way, let me just tell you something about my guest that we have joining us this evening, Miss Cassandra Williams. So Cassandra is the CEO and Executive Director of Educational Innovation 360, a true innovator in the education field, having dedicated over 25 years of her life to revolutionizing existing systems and setting new standards of excellence. I got to do the little dance with you. With a degree in elementary education from Southern Illinois University and a master's from California State University, she is also the founder of two successful elementary schools in Indianapolis. Her company has focused on coaching teachers to accelerate student achievement, often utilizing video and other technologies as learning tools. Her most recent passion is the Educational Innovation 360, an e-instructional coaching system which she designed and developed in 2018. And you talking about being innovative. 2018, pre-COVID, pre-technology stuff. She did it in 2018. So without further ado, I have my special guest and my friend Cassandra Williams on with us this evening.
Thank you so much. Yay! I'm super excited to be here. Let me just say, Melanie, you're doing some big things. I want to commend you as from one coach to the next. I love watching your content and I love your book. So really excited to be here.
Thank you. Ditto. What is it? I'm rubber, you're glue. What bounces off to me six
Six
to you.
on you. Right, here we
Boom.
go. Let's go. Let's go.
So I'm glad that you're able to join us this evening as Cassandra and I talk about how leaders can help reduce burnout in their staff. Now we know that this isn't a current thing. This isn't something that just happened like last night.
Nope.
Burnout is real, and I think it amplified during our COVID pandemic. It's so many things, technology being one of those things that
Yep.
I believe was a great contributor
Mhm.
to the teacher burnout at that time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, as a reading coach, I was a literacy coach then. Um, Two schools. Both of the principals reached out to me and was like, can you just not coach at this time? Because the teachers are really trying to dig into this technical piece of teaching online.
Yes.
So I think COVID amplified that.
It did. It did.
Hmm.
And, just thinking about like nobody kind of knew what to do.
Hmm.
And we were leaders, we were coaches, we were therapists, and we were, consoling our teachers like it's okay. And we were like learning tech on the fly as well with our teachers. So we
Hmm.
were supporting all components. We were the IT people.
Yes.
And I think that put a lot on us as coaches, but it
Hmm.
also put a lot on our teachers to have that vertical learning experience and to get it quickly and learn fast so we can
Yeah.
support our students. So yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
with that.
That was like a pivotal moment in educational history, really.
Yes.
So before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want people to know who you are and your story. So let's start with your story. What led you into the world of instructional coaching and leadership?
Well, I think, we kind of all start like in teacher mode, right? We're
Mhm.
going to do the best with our students. And then it's like, okay, maybe I need to do this on a grander scale. So I was
Mhm.
a teacher, a coach. I was in multiple states. Then we dibble into higher ed. So I was working at the University of Kentucky, Indiana University. And then I was like, man, I miss truly working with teachers and that aha moment that let's collaborate, let's connect, let's try some new things in the classroom. So after opening up two schools in the greater Indianapolis area, I'm like, gosh, one of the components I think my teachers need is like, you can't do both. You can't be an instructional leader. It's very hard to be a building manager and an
Mhm.
instructional leader, right? And
Mhm.
so I was like, let me just be the right hand woman to the principal. And I was like, how could we, cover more ground? How can I best support all
Mhm.
the people in the building? And that's kind of how I came to this. So, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I love hearing people's pathways to where they are now. Just such interesting stories because all the stories I've heard, no two are the same. It's almost like snowflakes, right? No two stories are the same.
Yes. And I think
So,
we all go through that path. Like, we're like,
mhm,
okay, let me do adjunct professor. Do I do higher ed? Do I stay in
yeah,
K-12? So we're all kind of going up and down that ladder, trying to figure out what's our zone of genius, per se.
yes, where do we function best? And
Yes.
but the fun thing, in finding our purpose or what we love to do most, I like the journey of it all, having
Yes.
the opportunity to do higher ed and having the opportunity to work in primary education, just all of that because it builds such a great experience and background
Yes.
for us,
Mhm.
because we have a greater scope. And I encourage anybody who might think that, well, this is my jam. I love first grade. Stretch yourself a little bit,
Yes.
teach another grade, teach a higher grade, do something outside of the classroom because it'll
Mm.
make your perspective so much broader and your understanding a little bit more deeper about education. So I really encourage, but my friends call me, they're like, you a risk taker. I'm like, I just love it. I
Uh,
love education and I wanted to see it from many different perspectives, which was my goal when I started and that's what I'm doing. So
yes. You,
I
you're very
encourage.
special. You're a very
Mhm.
special person if you can teach a first grader how to read and work with adult learners,
Yeah,
right? So
Yes,
like you can take anybody anywhere at any time to really help
yes.
them get to where they need to go. And so that's why I love coaches. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, Cassandra, there was one point in my career, I taught first grade, and I had been teaching first grade at this time for, let's see, probably 4 years. And I remember so clearly, it was around March, maybe end of March, early April, where I just, it kind of hurt my soul to get up and go to work in the morning. I was
Mm.
like, oh, I have to go to work. And, once I get to work there, I had that one. Everybody has that one student.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but he's a first grader. But
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you, and I think what really did it for me is that I was requesting that his parent come and sit in on instruction just to kind of keep him at bay because I'll tell you, he kind of dictated the environment of my classroom. If he had a great day, my class had a great day. If his day was awful or off kilter, it was like that for the whole
Mm.
class. So,
Mm-mm.
I just asked if his parent, his mom, can come and sit in. And the principal told me no. And so I'm like, okay, I have to deal with this. So I'm not sleeping.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
barely eating. I was feeling ill when I go to work. On the way there, I'm like, oh, just this knot in my stomach, just nauseous. And so I said, okay, let me go to the doctor. The doctor told me, yeah, you're suffering from stress. And we
Yes.
don't know it
Yes.
because we think this is kind of normal or we'll
Yeah.
get over it. And the doctor said, yeah, you're stressed and I'm going to take you off work for a month. I
Wow.
was completely burned out. I
Wow.
was
No,
completely burned
that's
out. And I was off for a month. And, as educators, our kids, we're always thinking about them. And I had planned this field trip to an apple orchard that was about an hour away because I'd love to take my kids on field trips as far away as possible. It was about an hour away. And I was like, no, I cannot cancel this trip. And so I did my month, and I was checking in with the doctor. And he was like, well, maybe you should. I'm like, no, I'm going to go back. I think I'm fine. And it was the end of the school year. So I ended up going back so that my kids would not miss that field trip. But I was burned out
mm-hmm.
and I was stressed.
Mm-hmm.
I know you run into this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just one piece of what's causing stress in teachers is
Mhm,
lack of consistency with discipline in
mhm,
schools, and so when teachers feel that their principal doesn't have their back, right?
mhm,
When they think that it's them against the school or them against the parent, and whatever the parent says, that the principal will not advocate for them, that creates layers and layers of mistrust. And
mhm,
so teachers are not only worried about, okay, one, my job and how overwhelming that is, but two, the behaviors, and then what are the
mhm.
systems that we have or we don't have in place,
Oh, we don't
right?
have.
And
Mhm,
don't have in place, right? And then does that system always work, right? The buddy system, the pull out the class, the suspension. And then what
mhm,
happens when these systems fall apart, when I send somebody out and they send them back? And I
mhm,
think that is more frustrating for our teachers. And that's just one layer of what causes burnout. And so you keep piling more layers on our teachers, and they're just
mhm.
like, look, I'm just tired. And so
Yeah.
we've sat and we've cried. Teachers have cried,
Mhm,
teachers have walked out, teachers have went to our counselors for therapy. Like, so it's real. So I
mhm,
commend you for sharing
mhm.
your story.
And there are so many different, like you were saying, elements and layers to this. But what do you think causes burnout? What do you think that thing is? And I know there are many
There are
things.
so, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's the lack of trust. It's the I don't know if I'm going to lose my job, the worry.
Hmm.
It's the, does the principal like me? Am I a good fit for the school? Do I have a community there? Am I safe? Will I be
Hmm.
attacked at the parent conference, or will I be attacked from the principal? How do I navigate this? political terrain because, there's so
Mm.
much politics in education.
Hmm.
How do I stay safe?
Yes.
Um, should I pick this battle or should I not?
Hmm.
And, even thinking about a positive work environment, am I happy when I show up? And what you said, resonates with a lot of our teachers.
Hmm.
Like, do I have to sit in the car 10 minutes before I walk through the doors? Who am I thinking about? Like, am I dreading my
Hmm.
space, the thing that I studied for, the thing that I
Hmm.
love, the thing that I have passion for? Am I dreading walking through the threshold and just, I don't know. And so these are like just some of the things that come to
Hmm.
mind that, I see of teachers, the glossy look on the eyes, the staring at the blackboard, the slow
Yeah.
walk to the classroom, the
Yeah.
run out when the classroom, when the
Yeah.
bell
First
rings, the
one out the
run
door,
out.
right? On the heels of the kids.
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, and so when I think about it, being on the heels of the kids on the way out the door, it's we are laughing about it, but it's such a serious matter because a lot of people, well, let's just face it, people go into education because they do have something, a nurturing side to
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
and they want to help and they want to be of service.
Yeah.
And so to get to that place where, okay, I'm finally here and I can do what I thought that I was called to do and not have that support is one
Mm.
of the worst things, especially for new teachers or
Mm. Mm. Mm.
even teachers who are coming into the field as a second career because of something. Sometimes we hear things and we see things and we're like, okay, we can make a difference, and we get here and it's nothing like we thought it would be.
Mm.
And so for people like that, it's important that we make sure that we take them and we embrace them and we
Yes.
we provide nurturing things for them because we want them to thrive and survive in
Yes.
like you said, the educational landscape is changing.
Yes. I
It's changing
mean,
daily. I was at work today going through books that were purchased with our new curriculum resources at the beginning of the school year. And there were small group reading sets. And my district coach was telling me, we've had some at one of the schools, a couple parents complained about the content of the book. And I had the same expression, right? And so she was just giving me the heads up, like,
yeah.
if this comes, I'll let you know that the district is very supportive of that book in question. And so I was glad that I got that. But just those little things like that can be a
Yes.
contributor to burning out because you have so many of those small instances that
Yes.
compiling and it becomes the straw.
Yes, no, I
I would
love it
say.
because,
Hmm.
just thinking about, onboarding a new teacher in the middle of the year, right?
Hmm.
No rah rah, no celebration. You're here. Look, here's the
Hmm.
classroom. Good luck, right?
Hmm.
And then, oh wait, you wanted materials? I don't know where those materials are. You
Yeah.
want what you want extra resource? What?
Hmm.
You want things to
Hmm.
put up in your classroom,
Hmm.
and or you want a mentor program? Like these are the things that we know keep teachers, but
Yes.
they are missing in our educational spaces. And so
Hmm.
teachers are looking for that connection, that mentorship, that support, that
Hmm.
collaboration, and they're like, no, you're out on your own. Good luck.
Hmm.
And that's you're right. It's those little pieces, the straw. And now I think with technology, it's another layer because it's not
Hmm.
only one canvas, learning canvas. No, it's learning, brain pop, canvas, like how to connect the tools. What does API mean? Like what does it look like at back
Hmm.
end? Ed puzzle, does it really go in here or do I have to do it separate? And just having like curriculum, but yeah, the curriculum's not really connected, or we don't
Yeah.
have this book and we don't
Hmm.
have it translated in Spanish, right? And so
Hmm.
all these things, and teachers are like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And all of that. And they're trying to do the best that they can. And then you
yes,
have all of these other things like, is that book really appropriate?
yes,
So it's like, I have this new thing and I'm following it with integrity and
yes,
And now it's this piece where should I or should I not provide this book for my students
Yeah.
because we have parents who are
Yes.
saying that it's not they don't think it's appropriate. So
Appropriate.
it's all of these things that
Mhm.
teachers have to navigate in order to teach.
Yes. And then,
Or
oh,
just
I
to,
got to watch what I say too.
yes,
Right?
yes,
Because then they go back, and now I don't know if the principal's going to support me on saying that. And
uh-huh.
I got to remember what I say. So,
It could be a mess. It could be a mess.
yeah.
So with you focusing on burnout, teacher burnout,
Mhm.
do you know if burnout is more prevalent with elementary school teachers or secondary teachers, or what are your feelings around that?
So, to be really transparent, it's happening to all teachers. I
Okay.
do feel like there is a shift in elementary with the tech addiction, like the more tech, and they're like, wait, let's kind of back off on the tech. Our students need social skills, SEL,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's a push in that. I think, to be honest, low key, middle school needs to change, but I digress. I do think what we have been doing in middle school for these years has not resonated with our students, and we have to find either some type of project-based learning or real life or experiences or even AI implementation and like assignments, something different to where it, you know, revolves around their world. And
Yeah.
I think high school is that preparation for college, but
Mm-hmm.
again, you know, I do think some of our systems need to be redefined or recreated. I do think we're still preparing our students for the world we have, and that's not the world they're going to see.
And that's the one thing, COVID was tragic and everything that happened. But one of the things I was looking forward to seeing that could maybe help teachers, and I know that we all have a learning curve and it'll take some time.
Yeah.
Change takes about 3 to 5 years, right?
Yep.
So, what I was hoping, what came out of it was us, like your educational innovation. I was hoping more innovation
Yes.
came out
Yes.
of COVID. But what I'm finding, which I think is also contributing to teacher burnout, is that we're trying to do these new things the old way. We're
Yeah.
trying to fit this society 5 years post COVID into what it was 6 years before,
Yep.
a year before COVID. And
Yeah.
so I think that's another, I know with me, because,
Yes.
and you, I mean, just about everybody, we have embraced technology.
Yep.
It doesn't mean I'm a master because even on the Zoom, I'm like, okay, am I doing that right? And I've
Where's the
Zoomed like
button? No.
I'm like, okay, oh, press record, let me do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I've done it. But, sometimes, we think we are moving forward, but it seems like they're just trying to put education back where it was post before COVID.
No, I love that because what also is happening is with technology, we are embracing it, but
Mm-hmm.
it really needs to be a district-wide professional development thing
Mm-hmm.
on individualized learning. Like we have the tools, we have the capability. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
could be on their own journey with their growth, but we're just not there yet, or the district hasn't decided that they're going to either ban it or not. Like we're still trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out what this looks like. There's no policy in place. And so
Yeah.
really thinking about how do we hurry up and rethink our professional development so everybody can get
Mm-hmm.
something out of PD?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right because like PD is my second jam. And
Yeah.
so and so I know that it forces us. I guess I know that I can say for sure with you, you're a lifelong learner as
Yep.
well. And when I am talking to teachers who feel safe with talking to me,
Yeah.
they want to know how can they implement our new technologies
Yes.
into their instruction in addition to whatever technology pieces come along with the curriculum resource. And so what it has had me to do is I had to rethink how I deliver PD because
Yes.
now I have to include these things in PD because the world is changing.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
so and with that, we have to keep in mind that these teachers want to know, but sometimes they have a lot of other things, and there isn't dedicated PD. So
Yep.
we're so accustomed to PD being about the curriculum resources, some kind
Yep.
of compliance issue,
Yep.
something of those terms. But when I do my surveys, I do surveys with all of the teachers who I coach,
Yep.
and I ask them, what do you want to see?
Yep.
So even if I don't have an opportunity or the district doesn't provide an opportunity to do something district wide, I pull my teachers and be like, look, I saw that you wanted to do this.
Yep.
Sit down and talk about it. Let's create a time. Is it a grade level that we're going to do, or all interested parties?
Yes.
Let's do this. And
I
so
love that.
creating those opportunities for teachers to be involved in PD that's meaningful. And it's not to say that those curriculum pieces aren't meaningful, but sometimes we need something else to feed our souls and to
No,
give
I
us more
love it.
motivation to get that curriculum piece moving.
I love it. You're so right, because
Mhm,
just thinking of how do we really support our teachers, usually the teacher would be like, hey, have you heard of this? I want to learn this. And
mhm,
so what happens is we as coaches, instead of, supplying our teachers with the need, which
mhm.
is how we should be doing it, we kind
Yes.
of do double. So we do the
Mhm,
PD, the whole PD song and dance like they want us to do, and then we're staying after or doing before school and doing quick
mhm.
meetings, and we're scheduling little PD sessions because
Yes.
and we're creating individualized plans for our
Mhm,
teachers. And so I
mhm.
remember one teacher was like, "Look, our health curriculum is stinky, and I need your help." And I'm like, let's go. I'm all about that life. We're rebels. Like, let's go. What do you want to do? I'm like, okay, we can't do the high school. We can't do this. So what are we doing? How are we tailoring it to our community? What are the
Mhm,
problems in our community? So now I'm like, let's build what this looks like and what
mhm.
it could be to connect it to student lives. And
Yes.
she was so pumped. I think I was more excited than she was that she came to
Yeah.
me on this. But I think these are things that we do in silence,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Because we're afraid of the backlash of what that looks
Yes.
like, of
Yep.
changing anything. So
Mhm.
she was like, I will not tell anybody. I was like, I'm like, I think it's okay. I think but it's just that they're so afraid to do anything outside of what is told.
Yes. And you know what? And even PD participation can be low. Something when we have our PD days in the district, some teachers opt not to come because they're burned out and they
Yep.
don't want to do this particular PD, and they feel that it's not what they need.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I can blame them, if it's, I don't know. And so I think that that's one of the pieces that we need to do or have in our toolkits as coaches and as leaders, how to know when to identify when
Yes.
teachers are burned out and what
Yes.
strategies to use for teachers who are burned out.
Hmm.
What strategies do you suggest for leaders? Um,
So with leaders, a lot of it has to be like goals,
mhm.
school goals. Usually the school goals, when they set smart goals, they're usually not smart. Like, so
You said it, I didn't.
I know. Go ahead, it's okay, right? So I would go into these schools and they'd be like, yes, we're doing ELA 90%. I'm like, well, what's our percentage now? We're at 12. I'm like, that's not smart. And so we have these astronomical goals, but
Mhm.
and we don't attain them by any means at the end of the year. And they're like, well, we'll try again next year. With it's just it's defeating for our
Mhm.
teachers. So
Mhm.
just thinking about like what goals can we set and some realistic expectations,
Yes.
and then when we've met the goal, because it's a smart goal, now we can celebrate to
Mhm.
show that we made gains, and then we can like start having a collective dashboard on what we're doing to support these little
Mm.
initiatives. But what I see happening is we're like, let me take the whole elephant at once. We are going to tackle this
Yeah.
90% head on. And they're like motivating their teachers. They're like, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it sets teachers up for, like I said, defeat. And
Mhm. Mhm.
those are other things. And then they don't feel appreciated.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so when you don't have wins often, you don't have the great group,
Yeah.
they excel. when you have discipline issues and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the best you can, like when do I as a teacher get celebrated for what I am doing? And
Mm-hmm.
so when you don't have those systems in place, it's hard to create rewards and celebrate and announce teachers on the intercom when they made small gains or
Yeah.
and so it's a whole system of I don't want to say a whole system of suffering, but it's a struggle, let me just say, for our teachers. And my heart goes out to every teacher. It's Teacher Appreciation Week.
I know. I'm like, oh boy. And it's teacher, and I don't know. I know the area you're in, and in
Yeah,
my area, we're both in the Midwest,
yeah.
and it's testing season. And so that is something else that's contributing
Yeah,
to
yep.
teacher burnout.
Fun, fun,
It's like
fun.
I'm the person they really don't want to see unless I can step in and relieve them for some
Yep.
reason or give them a prep or something like that. But they really don't, they're not trying to talk to me right now.
No,
They try to talk to me about data,
no.
about okay, pacing, about
Mm.
student engagement. They're not trying to see me right now.
Some teachers will come up to me and be like, okay, I want to do this for next year. Is this possible? Right.
Hmm.
And some of them will say, well, how long does it take to get this data back? We worked all year for this. And like,
Hmm.
what can I do to celebrate my kids to show that they've had growth? And they are making valid points,
Yes.
And so, like, even thinking about like, what do the breakfasts look like on the days of testing?
Hmm.
No, like
Hmm.
no food, no pops, no
Hmm.
nothing. Like,
Yep. I know, right? No, nothing.
show me you care. I don't want to hear about Jean Day. Just show me you care.
And that's right. Like, woo, and I understand, been there, done that.
Yeah,
So I know, and empathetic
yeah,
right here. I have all the empathy in the world.
yeah.
So going back to the topic, how leaders can help reduce burnout in their staff. What are some those things that you tell the people that you work with, those leaders you work with,
Hmm.
how can they help to reduce that?
So, of course, teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
activities. I know one principal, she was like, okay, I want to get massages for my teachers, was able to
Ooh.
reach out to community members and schedule subs, and they would have little intimate like massages,
Mm-hmm.
things to. There was celebrations as well. So I know one coach, we were working with the coach at a school, and I was like, I know you don't have money, but can we go to dollar store and get certificates? And then when they've mastered a skill, give
Mm-hmm.
them a certificate and just to celebrate their success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, just thinking about little things like that, feedback sessions. So like if principals can like continue to put emotional deposits in their bank accounts, like I see you
Mm-hmm.
working hard. I just want to stop in and say, I appreciate that,
Mm-hmm.
about you. So all those little small touches, and giving teachers space and a voice to speak up without um, the repercussion of what I say because I'm passionate. And so just give me space to speak my
Mm-hmm.
truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of hard in a lot of these spaces. And then just thinking about, I keep saying the informal gatherings. What are we
Mm-hmm.
doing for the informal gatherings? And I mean, like I said, I keeps going back to professional development
Mm-hmm.
and then mentorship. How are
Yeah.
you partnering me with somebody who can help me either in the same grade or same subject area? And just so I can just be better. And then why can't I get paid? Why can't, the mentors and the mentees get paid for showing up, to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing? I think these are a couple of things that they can kind of implement to make sure that they lower that barrier and they feel safe in the space and they want to
Yeah.
continue to come back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And those are really good, tangible things. Not anything that's pie in the sky,
Yeah.
something that'll take a year or two before we can implement, but those are very tangible and things we could do immediately.
Yes.
And those are the kind of strategies I like. Give me something that I can do like right now, tomorrow when I go in and I can do this.
Yep.
So those are things that are easy to implement, and I think that will get a great return on that investment.
Mm-hmm.
So I like those strategies. Thank you for sharing that. And I picked up a new term. I wrote it down, emotional deposits. I like that. I like it.
Right. We do it already, but like just massaging the relationship and make sure you say, okay, I saw John. Oh, I haven't seen Mr. Timothy in a long time. Let me check on him and see how you're doing. And then based on the last conversation, write it down. So when I see him, like, how's your cat doing? I'm like, you remember? You remember? Like teachers love that. The fact that you care enough to just know something about them to have conversation besides for academic.
Yes, absolutely. Which is why I highly recommend you give out surveys or you talk to people, because on the survey that I use, I have favorite color, favorite snack, favorite hobby or pastime. And so when I am conversing, especially in situations, I'll be like, oh, purple. I know purple is your favorite color, is mine too. And then have a little purple trinket in their box or something. So just those little connections make the biggest difference in the world and can possibly reverse that burnout feeling, because now they see that they are being seen and heard and valued.
Yes, I mean, you put chocolate in anybody's box, they like coming to kiss you. They trying to find you to thank you. I really need that chocolate today.
Yes. And I keep those dark chocolate Hershey Kisses wrapped in a purple foil. I keep those at the ready. Like, come on in.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I absolutely loved this conversation. We are going to wrap it up, but we have a little bit more ways to go because I do have a few more questions to ask. I have one good question. I have a speed round, have a lightning round. Yeah, lightning round. So, but what's one message you wish every instructional coach or leader could hear loud and clear?
Wow. One of the things that I worry about, although I worry about our teachers, I worry about our coaches, right? And our principals and their burnout. And I always say, if you're not investing in yourself for professional growth, then you're saving yourself for other people. Like you're doing all the things, but then what are you doing for yourself? Because many times principals don't get to go on professional development to get training or to collaborate with other principals in the district that's just true and honest, besides for the school PD, but that's really true and honest and saying, hey, I'm struggling with this. What are you doing at your school? And we don't do that as instructional coaches. Usually we're either alone or there's one or two at our school. But to collaborate with other coaches and be like, girl, let me tell you. And they're like, girl, that's happening at school. I'm like, well, what you doing? We don't get that time to take ourselves on a professional development. Usually they're like, you want to go on professional development? I'm like, yeah, I want to go on PD. And so if we don't advocate for ourselves to have these experiences, then who will? So just keep on, advocating for yourself, set aside time for yourself for individual growth.
I like that. I love it. I love it. Lightning round, you ready?
Here we go.
Just 5 questions. Just 5 questions, but they're good questions. So here we go. Number 1, coffee or tea while coaching?
Ooh, tea, coffee. I gotta go to the bathroom a lot.
So I hear. Walkthroughs or planning meetings? What's your favorite and why?
Ooh, I love walkthroughs because I get to jump in the classroom and we get to co-teach and I get to see what cool things is going on and then come back and say, I really like what you did. So I love walkthroughs.
Yeah. What's your go-to hype song before a tough coaching conversation?
I don't know.
So now you're going to be thinking of one.
You got to hype your bestie up. All right, I'm trying. I didn't want to say all the things, but like I have to get, I'm a hip hop head. Like I love hip hop and I do, but like I said, that's kind of weird. I know. Oh God, side eye. Every time somebody gonna see me now, they gonna play that song. Like, hey.
That's your anthem. No longer your hype song, but it's gonna become your anthem. Every time Cassandra walks in the room, that's what you're going to hear playing.
Yes, yes, yes.
One word that describes your coaching style.
Mm. Hopefully it's motivational.
Okay.
I think I'm a lot to take for some people because I get so excited over little things and and I'm like, but you can do it. Let's go. Let's go. And then so hopefully they get motivated and hyped.
And the last one, what's your coaching superpower?
I think the fact that I can recognize when people are not having a good day, and I think being able to, I feel like I'm a life coach many times, and I can look and like, baby, how are you doing? No, how are you really doing? And then one girl just cried. I'm like, oh my God, and I hopefully I bring that motherly, let me hug you, let me kiss you because I love you. I love my
Yeah.
teachers. But a lot of they need that, I think. So
Yeah. Everybody needs to feel a warm embrace, virtually or physically. Just
yes.
that safe space of comfort.
Mhm.
Yeah, we all do. Sometimes I'll be like, I need somebody to talk to.
Yes.
I'm tired. Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Oh, this was such a fun conversation. I almost hate to go, but I know I try to honor time. I try
Mhm.
to. But we're going to have to do this again because I love this. We're going to have to
Well,
do part two. So thank you for coming on. And I am not going to leave without you telling the viewers how to connect with you and what's coming up for educational innovation.
so sure, we're rolling out some AI courses. It's going to be like online. We're going to try to do some hybrid AI courses in education. Hopefully, we could partner with some of the big school, maybe, I don't know, School AI, Magic School. So we're thinking about
Mhm.
thinking about what are some best practices that we're seeing coming out of schools and AI. And a lot of it's around policy and
Mhm.
procedures and maybe ethics and how do we teach this to some of our students. So
Mhm.
you're going to see a lot of that. I'm doing a lot of video output. You can see a lot of my videos. Of course, we are definitely rolling out coaching cadre. So like just
Mhm.
like you, right?
Mhm.
We're rolling out our coaching community, so you'll see more of that. And I'm a big person of social emotional learning and diversity and equity and inclusion. So you're going to see that wrapped all in our coaching community. So thank you so much.
That is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And you told us all of that good stuff except for how to connect with you.
You got me.
We need to know that, ma'am.
Well, you can fill out a form, educationalinnovation360.com, or you can hit me up, 812-214-7425. Make sure you call me. I will call you and pick up the phone and talk to you.
Call me if you need someone to talk
Talk
to.
to.
Call me.
Satisfaction. Okay.
Sandra, this has been a ball. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And I always forget to say this, but like and share, even share the recording,
Yes.
because this is a great one. This is a great one. So we'll see you next time. Cassandra, thank you so much. And to our viewers, talk to you on the next Coach Talk. See you later.